headlines. Incessant rain causes widespread havoc in Manipur. Imphal River breached at Khurai, Haikrumakhong and Hengang. Several houses inundated. Imphal-Jiribam Highway cut off due to landslide between Nungkao and New Kaifundai area. Kokomi temporarily suspends agitation in view of flood situation in state. Good evening. Welcome to Istv English News. I'm Surbala Kangabam. Let's see the news in detail. The relentless downpour witnessed in the last few days has caused some rivers in Manipur to overflow, leading to inundation in numerous areas. The flooding has severely impacted daily life, disrupting transportation networks and essential services in certain parts of Imphal. With the water overflowing from Imphal River near Brighter Academy, BIP Colony at Sanjenthong, Purairomba Khongnangkhong, Andro Parking and Chekwont have been flooded. The severe waterlogging has significantly impacted daily commutes. School students and office goers have been among the worst affected, facing difficulties in reaching their destinations. Rescue teams are actively working to evacuate stranded residents and provide assistance to those affected by the flooding.
This is MU exam thawam chapane ba Manipur gi nong sina pibum oraga kon mamang sida chatpa yadana leire nan dagi adum yai thora lakpane exam se adu ngasi so mu nong sina chatpa yadre akoi exam thab se phangoi phangadra se akoi isa khangdre
school jago ka ge lakpane ba saida thumam me ba alda khara mong ye lakko san to yaramdra ba
Aikogi karida sekol jida ising aikogi pazal le haibadagi aikogi silinaw makhai aikogi mating khar tor su pangge na aikoi lakpani adu mafam masi hojik le mafam masi konung mamang dani aikogi mafam masi dagi ising ji aikogi khara kanna sien badagi gari asi mafam masi da khamammaga aikoi mafam da sangge na ising pazal iba mafam adu sangge na hojik aikoi lakpani aduga mating khara mayamgi mating khara tauge na aikogi kaigumba angamba mating khara tauge Port Hondo Onjin Amabo or Mating Taugen Lakman, Mafamasi.
Again, Handak China by Yokanaka, Hibagi, Mayam Pinary.
River banks of Imphal River along Khurai, Haikrumakhong and Hengang are reported to have breached, which led to several houses submerged in water. At around 10:30 a.m., river bank along Khurai, Haikrumakhong caved in, causing heavy flooding in the area. After news spread about a mother and her child being swept away by the flood water, team of Arambai Tengol units 10 and 17 rushed to the spot and immediately conducted searches. The rescue team of Arambai Tengol found the mother and the child on the rooftop of a flooded house. MLA of Khurai Assembly Constituency Shushindro inspected the river bank breach at Khurai, Haikrumakhong and urged people to avoid visiting the site as their presence is hindering the efforts of those working to block the bridge. By staying away, the public can help authorities focus on providing assistance to those affected by the flood.
Immediately ꯃꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯖꯒꯥꯁꯦ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯛ ꯇꯧꯗ ꯌꯥꯗꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯆꯤꯡꯃꯤꯔꯣꯡꯒꯤ ꯆꯩꯔꯥꯎꯁꯤꯡꯗꯒꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯂꯧꯒꯅꯤ ꯃꯔꯝꯗꯤ ꯀꯩꯒꯤꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯇꯤꯟꯁꯤꯔꯣꯠꯇꯩ ꯂꯧꯕ ꯌꯥꯕꯅꯤ ꯇꯤꯟꯁꯤꯔꯣꯠꯁꯨ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯊꯣꯡ ꯑꯃ ꯁꯥꯕꯅ ꯃꯔꯝ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯀꯝꯃꯨꯅꯤꯀꯦꯁꯟ ꯎꯄꯥꯏ ꯂꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯑꯗ ꯑꯅꯤꯁꯨꯕꯗꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯀꯪꯂꯥꯔꯣꯝꯗꯩ ꯂꯧꯕ ꯌꯥꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯁꯨ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯐ꯭ꯂꯠꯁꯤꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯀꯥꯏꯁꯤꯅ ꯃꯔꯝ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯁꯣꯝꯗꯁꯨ ꯆꯠꯄ ꯌꯥꯗ꯭ꯔꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯑꯣꯡꯂꯤ ꯋꯥꯟ ꯔꯨꯠ ꯑꯃꯈꯛꯇꯪ ꯂꯩ ꯁꯂꯥꯟꯊꯣꯡ ꯈꯣꯡꯅꯥꯡꯅꯤ ꯀꯥꯔꯛꯇꯒꯤꯅ ꯁꯂꯥꯟꯊꯣꯡ ꯇꯥꯔꯛꯄ ꯁꯂꯥꯟꯊꯣꯡꯗꯒꯤꯅ ꯍꯩꯀꯨ ꯃꯈꯣꯡ ꯇꯥꯕ ꯂꯝꯕꯤꯁꯦ ꯃꯁꯤꯃ ꯈꯛꯇꯪ ꯄꯕ꯭ꯂꯤꯛ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗ ꯑꯩ ꯈꯨꯔꯨꯝꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯔꯤ ꯃꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯁꯤꯃꯇꯪ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯤꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯕꯤꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯊꯨꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯁꯤ ꯊꯤꯡꯕ ꯉꯝꯅꯤ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ प्रजासिंबु हाना तांथोकद्रा गायिना सोक्तननबा लेबाकु पोरकनबु होनगद्राना खनबन मसिगिंता दुगि मतिक अवाब फावि अदुना मसिमतंग आई हम्बल अपील तौजरी मसिमतंग मयाम पुरंग मतंग पांगी.
On the other hand, many houses have been inundated with water overflowing from breached riverbank along Haingang Mayalikai. Residents have been shifted to safer areas. Here is a report.
Mamangda akoi hairiba mafamsi aikoigi Haingang lai haraubomgi aikoigi mathaksida dum chathok chasin tawraga ringban ama ringban mathaksida nakan lepte wan lerami lepte wan do aikoigi mamangi ising ichaugi adudaidagi amuk namdagre nong namuk चल मतुंगदुदा हतमो नमदरगा मुकायबनी अखोगी हाइरि मफमसिदा कोई एमआई डिपार्टमेंट की वाटर रिजर्वर जु लेरी वाटर रिजर्वर जे कोई नमदगरे अदुगा चही खुदिंगी अदुम हाइरि मफमसिदा अदुम तौ लेरे इसिंग इचाउजे अदो मरी लेनबा जिंगना खरा फजना क्वालिटी मेंटेन तौना फजना सेंबियु हाइना निसिंगजरे
इसिंग सिना कोई तुरें तोबान कायबदिगी सोहलिबा लेकोई ममांग थंग सरुकसे मफम जगह से कदाय कदाय दनो अदुगा मसिना कना कदाय बौ सोहलगे कदाय बि
अकोई सिगी जगह जे हंगा मयालेकाय थक्सोम डायरेक्ट कवे सिगी ममांग थंगबा त्रोबान सिदगिनि कायरिजे सि कायजे ngarang की अथेंगबा पुंग 13 ताबा अदायदगी लेकाय मयांगी इसिनाव मयाम थोलकांदा कोई बोरादा हालागा लेबाक सिंगे थिंगबा होवे लेबाक सिंगे थिंगबा होबदगी सुम इसिंगी इमाजे सुम वांखले अदुदगी कोई लेकाय जिगी लेबा इनाउजिंग गाड़ी कांटेक्ट तौद खदना अदे लेकाय जे लेबा गाड़ी मयामना सपोर्ट तौकांदा कोई पुंग अमा ताबदगी लेबाक से मरी मरी थोनबा होबने हने याम थोलगजो इसिंगी इमाजिना सुम लेबदो वांखलकबा मतम चन्ना लेबाक से थोलौदन मरम वकांदा कोई ngasiगी इसिंगजे कायबने तबदो सि मतम चन्ना थबक से सुरमबा हौजिक चलेबा लेमतनि माजे लेला चनबे मुता जरो जरो कन्ना वार फुटिंग सुरम तादी अतः लेबाक से मतम चन्ना थोलम तारे अकोई ngasiगी इसिंग इचाउना लेकाय जे मांगलेबा वहालेबा मयाम जे सि थोमोय.
Water level in Aral River continues to rise rapidly from 8 a.m. today morning. As per information provided by Water Resource Department, the water level in the river has been rising rapidly. However, it is flowing under danger level. Mahabali area too has been submerged in water overflowed from Imphal River. Mahabali temple has also been affected by the flooding. One of the 6 shutters of the Dolai Thabi barrage in Imphal East broke open around 10:30 a.m. today due to continuous rain causing water to overflow. Locals reported that the shutters were not lifted despite the water level rising, as there was no electricity to operate them. The broken shutter has led to a concerning rise in the water level reminiscent of last year's flooding from the Aral River. Meanwhile, the water level has decreased upstream of the barrage. Meanwhile, the water level in the Segmai River has been flowing above the danger level. Houses near the river banks are already submerged, causing misery for residents. As water from Imphal River has started overflowing along Tilipati area, several houses have been left flooded. Authority concern has been working on to prevent breaching of riverbank. Water overflowing from the river along Kuraitingangbam has also affected Laiwangba Laipam area. Local residents used JCB to stop the overflowing of water from the river. Walls around Kumalampak Sports Complex has also been submerged in rainwater. On the other hand, residents of Kurai Lairik and Mamang Lekai have been making relentless efforts to prevent breaching of riverbank. A local club member told media persons that last year, the locality had faced severe flood situation which left the residents in a vulnerable state. The torrential rain which has been hitting the state for the last few days has left the residents worried. With water overflowing from the Imphal River, some of the houses at Laringeng Mamang Lekai have been flooded, he said. He also lamented that the department concerned has not responded to their call for aid. Through the media, he made appeal to the authority to send help to prevent flooding in the region.
Organization Mamang Lekai Kawayo. Department che apna level container number se tapana susu later. The local immediately site me passing the high country so department level of the Chile, the third party name to Roy, department of the Harapategi, of the level of later than a project, since the father got Chile. The cry level to the Ganta,
The Water Resources Department has issued a flood advisory for the Imphal Valley, warning of potential overflows and breaches along the Imphal River due to heavy rainfall in Kangpokpi. According to the department, Kangpokpi has received 175 mm of rainfall in the past 24 hours, exceeding the benchmark of 135 mm in 72 hours that typically leads to flooding in the valley. With the Imphal River already flowing above the high flood level, authorities are anticipating further overflows and breaches. As a precautionary measure, evacuation of residents living in flood-prone areas of Imphal city has been advised. Well, more than 1,000 households that are in the low-lying areas have been affected by flood that occurred last night in Senapati. 2 wooden bridges and 2 hanging bridges have been washed away, with 2 cars that were parked in front of residential houses. One 407 Tata also got washed away and not found till filing of this report. District Administration Senapati Town Committee together with Colony Village authorities had spent a sleepless night in their rescue works. Although no human casualty has been reported, many houses have been washed away by the flood. The most affected areas in the district headquarters include Viewland Colony, River Colony, Bridge Colony, Yaupao Colony, Church Road Colony and Old Monday Market Colony, where the families flee for safety in the middle of the night yesterday. Affected families mentioned that the water level rose at an instant that they could not take out any of their belongings but had to run out for safety. With the continuous incessant rain that has been continuing since May 28 evening, denizens of Senapati district have been reeling in darkness without electricity. Sources mentioned that some electric poles have been washed away, where those portions are still filled with water. However, Senapati witnessed low rate of rainfall on May 31 today. District administration had set up temporary shelter homes at ADC Conference Hall and ADC Guest House. Information received from the CEO, ADC Senapati mentioned that some 80 persons have been enrolled at temporary shelter homes at ADC Conference Hall. Other 6 community halls have been designated for the same in and around the district headquarters. Mentioned may be meant that most of the affected households have been attached to ones near and dear ones residing in and around the district headquarters, that the concerned authorities could not ascertain the accurate affected households till filing of this report. Some portions of the road along National Highway 2 were affected yesterday evening mudslides, but the debris were cleared early this morning and free flow of traffic commenced since early morning today. A team from the District Administration Senapati has been going around the affected areas and has been distributing relief materials to the affected ones. A medical team led by the Medical Superintendent, District Hospital Senapati has been giving free treatment to the affected households in the temporary shelter homes with distribution of free first aid medicines. The road stretched between Karong and Senapati along National Highway 2 has been cut off by mudslide which took place in area between Navako and the District Council. It has been reported that the stretch between Imphal and Senapati has gotten worse due to the incessant rain. Vehicular movement between Nungkao and New Kaipundai 2 has been blocked by landslide. Company which has been engaged in construction work is working to clear the debris from the landslide. Kangpokpi town was struck by a calamity of terrifying scale as the Kangwi stream transformed into a monstrous river, bursting its bank and swallowing the entire locality of Zolhingveng. In a matter of hours, over 60 households were almost swallowed by the waters. Despite the challenges, local youths and the Kangpokpi police, led by Officer in Charge H. Kipgen, worked tirelessly to rescue families and mitigate the damage. The disaster was compounded by a communication blackout, with Airtel and Zio networks down and electricity outages. The Deputy Commissioner Mahesh Chowdhury assessed the damage and deployed earth movers to clear debris and reopen passageway. Several other wards such as Lamdil Beng, Ngambong Beng, Japal Beng and Kupting Beng suffered extensive damage. Multiple minor landslides were also reported along National Highway 2, particularly between Daili and Yaikongpao. Authorities acted swiftly to ensure that traffic could continue to move, albeit cautiously. In None district, heavy rainfall triggered mudslides in many locations along National Highway 37 of Imphal-Jiribam Road. Electric lines were cut off, hampering to the general public. A massive landslide occurred in between Awangkul and Langkong village under None police station along National Highway 37 that led to disruption of vehicular movements. Many vehicles were stranded on both sides of the road, waiting for the clearance of the debris. And yet, on the other sides, landslides occurred in between Sejang and Sinam village under Kangpokpi district along National Highway 37. The road construction company, Ganpati Company, is rendering their best efforts to clear off the debris by using excavators. However, it's hampering the work progress due to continued rainfall that trigger mudslides. Meanwhile, horticulture farms were extensively damaged by the strong wind that hit last night in Tazay Kaipun village and its peripheral area under Nungba subdivision of None district. Some houses were also damaged and blown out by the storms. The water level of Ijay, Iril, Irang and Laimatak increased and are flowing in the danger mark. Meanwhile, the district administration had already issued an advisory to the general public not to venture out so as to avoid any untoward incidents. Director of Directorate of Information and Public Relations NG Uttam has made appeal to avoid flooded areas unless it's an emergency or absolutely necessary. In a video, he informed that large number of people gathering on streets to witness a flood has led to significant traffic congestion. This influx of onlookers has inadvertently hampered rescue operations, making it challenging for emergency responders to reach affected areas promptly. He then urged people to stay safely at home and avoid venturing out unless absolutely necessary.
Amna ising ichaw yengba turen torban kaiba yengba chapasina maram oiraga mafam kharada traffic jam yamna thoali traffic jam tholakpasina emergency da akhoi machinery pochai puthok puchin tawgadabda apanba pidana kalhoba yaba akhoi torban kaiba gi thodok kayasi kanba nangdabagi phibam da lei aduna miyamna ngasai gi isa gi ju safe hoina ba yum da leibiu aduga mayam gi su safe hoina ba akhoi gi koi chatlaga lambi da chilhanba khotba turen torban da chinjalhanba masigumba khudong chadaba se tawhanbiganu aina appeal tawjari.
Convener of Kokomi, Kraijam Atauba, has announced that the committee will temporarily suspend its ongoing agitation in view of the present natural calamity in the state. In a press meet held at his office at Lamphel, Atauba clarified that there is no plan to call off the agitation unless a unanimous resolution accepted by the public is reached. He also revealed that the Kokomi delegation, which held a meeting with officials of Ministry of Home Affairs, gave a detailed report of the Gualtabi incident and intimated the public's demand for an apology. Athoba said although the ministry did not make any assurance, it believed that they will take follow-up action as there are some reasonable demands. Further, Athoba said the resolution adopted after the People Convention on May 3 is not final and added that Kokomi is set to hold discussions related to NRC and SU with different stakeholders of the state. The final resolution will be submitted formally to the highest authority of India to get effective outcomes, he added.
Suspension operation की policy सिमा इकोई yang kan ngang nei hari bo issue sigi matang da इकोई amuka koi round khara meeting khara tawna bagi understanding amadi इकोई lemina rei National Register of Citizen gi sisu masi tawna na bhona bada madugi feasibility adagi non feasibility area sing puthorei hai puthorei report sing adu इकोई gi oiba leiriba state ki magi situation adagi Assam gi tawkhriba NRC gi situation sing asi puthoga yok akoi yang kumna nei namina ki koi miyam singsina chathok chasin tawda khudong chana driba mayam asigi IDP sing gi huji immediately moina relief camp da leiraga thengnariba problem sing siuma sing sidi koi prioritize tawraga madudi point by point ta koi ayam loina ma demand sing adu yanabam di koi leire India government gi level amadi state government gi level dagi su thabak khara di soidan lakani.
President in charge of Fox, Pm-Istv, has slammed the government's eviction order to IDPs of Langol Zone 3 and 4 quarters, stating that it could spark unrest in the state. Pm-Istv, while speaking to media at its office at Kabolekai alongside displaced residents of More, condemned the order and stated that the IDPs could not register to stay at relief camps as they initially sought refuge in Myanmar owing to the crisis, and they were allowed to stay at the Langol quarters by the ex-Chief Minister N. Biren. Fox will not accept such orders until the government arrange alternate housing areas for the IDPs and demanded to withdraw the eviction order. Also speaking at the press meet,
Angone Lariba, Gomengi quarter labelsing Asida Natana, Manipuri Tuan Funda Lariba, IDP sing a Sigi, Makogi Tengnariba, Awaba, Anangba, Dugomakogi, Hingbagi Sanga, Polamsing, Nomagi, Anayaki, Yaropagi, Aduga, Masa Masu like Shutamnavagi, Sigumba, Awaba Mayamaza, Mazu Sarkargi, Makegi, Makogi, Mating Pangbayaba, Karamba, Iskimdagi, Yagadagaze, Karhena, Makogi Awana, the Mating Pangbi, Haba, Wapam Sima, Posi, Makedi, Apil Tozege.
Also speaking at the press meet, Ahiba Memta, an IDP from More Ward number 3, intimated that the displaced residents of More have been seeking shelter at quarter 13. Denouncing the order, Memta questioned where they would relocate amid the situation and appealed the government to call off such measures until they can resettle back into their homes.
Koigi may Jakibagi, Adhaka Piraga, Yari, Habadagi, Koji Lagiban, Asuana labor, Matamjida, Tan Baga, Hotpaga, Anabazu Yawi, Nomagi Hidak in the Buhonagadra, Adagi, choosing Larictum the Buhonagadra, Masigi Marachida, Nahalet Chia Puraga Lakani, Salon, Karai, the Legaduni Maoibo, Asuara than the labor, Matamjida, Imao in the hygiening is here. Imao na sang bayadri boidi isang ina imao gi mateng pangbiduna amuk tadi masugum batagok si amuhan na thok na bani imao na ajari changi mafamda.
A college-level symposium competition was organized under a theme, Ending Plastic Pollution Globally, by Department of Environmental Science, T.S. Paul Manipur College, Eco Club and IQAC at the college premises. A total of 26 students took part in the competition, which was held in connection with World Environment Day 2025. Haishnam Swetambara Chanu, student of Department of Economics, bagged first place, while Jalina Yambem of Department of Zoology won second place, and Diana Wangkaimayum, Department of Environmental Science, secured third place in the competition. Winners were presented prizes by the college principal. The entrance test for admission to BSc and BPES first semester for DM College of Science, Imphal Dhanamanjuri University for the academic session 2025-26, earlier scheduled on 1st and 2nd June 2025, have been postponed due to the prevailing flood situation in Manipur. In a notice issued by the principal of DM College of Science, Imphal, it was stated that the schedule for the set entrance test will be notified later. Candidates have been informed to check their college websites regularly. Mao Youth and Students Organization, Imphal Mao Students Union and Blood Bank Jenims organized a blood donation camp under the theme Give Blood, Save Lives at Jenims Hospital. A total of 25 persons, including 6 MBBS students, donated blood at the camp. President of Mao Youth and Students Organization, Murli Irina, highlighted media about the objective of the camp.
We are only 25-26 people ngaktan oye adu so akoina wakhan kha chauna akoi society damak kha yaba makhai pi ge haina matam na su phatre ising su chawre adu akoi mi yam khom jin ge hain di tawe adu so matam na su phatam ne na akoi mi kun manga kun taruk ngaktan sure adu so simaina akoina macha ma taw ge se.
And before we wind up our top stories once again. Incessant rain causes widespread havoc in Manipur. Imphal River Bridge Sadakorai, Hekrumakong and Hengang, several houses inundated. Imphal Jiribam Highway cut off due to landslide between Nungkao and New Kaipundai area. Kokomi temporarily suspends agitation in view of flood situation in state. Well, thank you so much for joining with us and good night.